Your sex life is your responsibility, like most things in life. The crux of therapy really is learning to reflect on your own choices, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and understand how they are contributing to the life that you are living and the issues that you are facing. It is all based around self-responsibility. The concept of self-responsibility is fairly easy to understand. You are taking responsible for all aspects of your life that are within your control. However, in practice, that is way easier said than done, because we tend to attribute way more of our current misery to outside sources than is really necessary or realistic. When it comes to sexual self-responsibility, the non-responsible thing to do would just be to point fingers at other aspects that we believe are contributing to a bad sex life, like our partners or our bodies. I just can't come from penetrative sex. I'm just one of those women that can't come like that. As opposed to really digging in and trying to figure out what mindset patterns or choices we are making that are contributing to creating or aggravating the situation. So if you are unhappy with any aspect of your sex life, it is your responsibility to do something about it. Now, I'm not saying that if there's something going on in your sex life that you don't like, that it's your fault per se. Fault is very different from responsibility. There are certainly a large number of things that affect us that influence the way that we view, understand, and experience pleasure. What we were taught growing up, what we are seeing growing up, our early life experiences, our early sexual experiences, yes, they all contribute to what our sex life looks like today. And a lot of that is not your fault. However, you are a grown-ass person who is grown enough to be having sex and watching this video, which means that regardless of whose fault or what actually happened to you, it is your responsibility to take ownership for what you want to do and how you want to act going forward. So when it comes to creating the sex life that you want for yourself or the sexual experiences that you want for yourself, regardless of what you learned about sex, how you learned it, what your past sexual experiences have been or not been, and who your past, present, or future partners are or have been or will be, ultimately, if you are not happy with some aspect of your sex life, then it is your responsibility to change it. Not your fault, but your responsibility to do something about it. And you can change it. You absolutely can change something that's not working in the bedroom. And that starts with getting really honest with yourself, specifically about what you want. Often what we focus on is what we don't want. In sex therapy, most clients come in saying, I don't want this. I don't like this. This isn't working. That's not working. This isn't working. He's not working. I'm not working. Everything that is not going right. But I rarely hear what somebody actually wants instead. Specifically, sometimes I'll hear things like, oh, I just want to have more orgasms, or, oh, I want to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be satisfied with my sex life. Like, that is so subjective and super vague. Getting specific about what you want is actually so important. I spent most of my 20s actually pretty unsatisfied with life in general, let alone my sex life in general. And I'd always be so bummed out. I was like, why? Why don't I have what I want? Why don't I get what I want? Why isn't life working out for me? Why aren't I happy? And then one day I got sick of my own shit and I was just like, I am so sick of myself. I just need to get my stuff together. And so I was like, let's just make a list of the things that I want, and then we're going to knock these off one at a time, and we're going to drive towards some goals. And so I got out a pen and paper and I wrote, and I didn't write down anything actually, because I went to go write stuff down and I was like, okay, what do I want? And I came up blank. Completely blank. There were certain things that I did want, like I was like, okay, I guess eventually, I'd like to have some kids, and eventually I'd like to do this, but I didn't know what I wanted in that moment. I didn't know what I wanted right now, and I didn't know the specifics. I had these big, grand life ideas. I want a career that makes me happy. I want a career that makes me lots of money. I want a person who loves me. It's like, yeah, sure, so do a lot of people. But what are the specifics and what are the baby steps to get there, breaking it down? And when it comes to sex, that can be really difficult because these are not conversations that we've ever really had or been taught to have, or questions that we've really been taught to consider for ourselves. What do we want in bed? What would make us happy in bed? And what would feel good in bed with a partner or by ourselves? So I have created a sexual self-responsibility worksheet, and you can download that below. You can click on the link below, download that fillable PDF, and really help yourself to get clear about what it is that you want in bed, or maybe help you recognize what might be missing in bed, and start to take ownership for your sex life and see what you can start asking for, because that's the thing. Once you know what you want, you need to start coming forward and asking to have your needs met and fulfilled. Because yes, your sex life is your responsibility, and of course other people are involved in that. And we can't control other people. We can only be really honest about what we want, what we think we need, and then come forward and ask other people if they are willing to meet us where we're at. That's all I have for you for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, and until next time, eat, squat, and come. And get really honest with yourself about what you want in bed. Fill out this PDF. Do it. You'll have better sex for it. Don't do it if you don't want to, but seriously, it's a good word.